Jai Sri Ram, friends. So today I am going to solve another problem on a different platform, that is Codility developer training platform. This is also new to me, so let's give a try on this platform. Okay, so I have created my account on this particular platform, and now we are going to solve very first problem, that is binary gap. Since I already have solved this particular problems, but for to all of you guys, I'll be sharing the my code with you guys and the approach that I have followed in this particular problem. So what is this problem is, we need to find longest subsequence of zeros in binary representation of an integer. Okay, let me hit the start button over here. Okay, start the test. Might be taking a bit more time. Okay, okay, this is completely new screen. Okay, let me expand this particular portion platform. Okay, the problem description is, we would be having this particular task, and a binary gap within a positive integer n is any maximal subsequence of consecutive zeros that is surrounded by ones at both ends in the binary representation of n. Okay, let's have an example of it. If you write the binary representation of 9, that would be in such a way, that is 1001, and it contains a binary gap of length 2. How they have calculated the length of 2? Let's have another example, that is with the help of another number. If you could represent a number with the help of binary representation, then you would be able to find this particular structure. The number that they have provided over here is 529. If you are trying to convert it into the binary representation, then you would be having this particular structure. And if you could find the gap in between two consecutive ones, please note that the first one is here, and if you try to traverse from this point to the next one, then you would be able to find the total number of zeros so in between those two consecutive ones. So in this case, we would be having 1 2 3 4 zeros, and for the another case, because we would be having another one here and the next one is here, so in between these two ones we are getting three zeros. So the maximum, if you could analyze that, we have the maximum zeros are associated with this portion. So the maximum binary gap would be 4, if you could analyze over here. Similarly, if you are trying to write the binary representation of 20, the representation would be this. But the binary gap, what would be the binary gap? Binary gap would be 1. But why? If you could analyze that the two consecutive ones, the gap in between two consecutive ones is 1. But if you could see this particular one, then after this particular one we would not be having another next one. So they have neglected this portion. So moving on to the further, if you are writing 15 in a binary representation, then this is the representation that we would be having, but there is no zero in between anyone, so you can consider it as a no binary gaps. Similarly for the next numbers, I hope you all of you have got the idea. So what would be our first task, if anyone can guess? So I'll tell you, before seeing the approach, you could try by yourself with the same. Okay, I hope you have already got my idea, but let me tell you, what I'll be doing is, I'll be converting this particular integer into the binary representation first. So what is the approach? Should I tell you? I think I should not tell you, because I already have uploaded multiple videos on the representation of binary. You could see my previous videos over there, but in this case I'll be telling you. Okay, the approach would be every time we would be dividing the number by 2 and we are storing the remainder. We would be storing the remainder at each step. So the remainder would be the combination of all the reminders would be considered as a binary representation. Okay, let me write down the code for this. I have taken an integer s, empty integer s, and then I'll be having a while loop, and inside that while loop we would be checking whether our number is greater than 0 or not, and for each time we would be storing a reminder if we divide the number by 2, and at each step we would be concatenating that particular reminder to the empty string, and at the end we would be dividing our number by 2. Let me write down this properly so that all of you could understand. So this is the logic. This is exactly the logic to represent a number into the uh, binary format. Okay, let's move on to the further. And you could also print it down so that you would be able to understand whether it is perfectly written or not. But it would be the reverse order. It would be definitely in a reverse order, because every time I have started from the last one and storing back into the front one. If you could analyze, this is the portion, this is the way that I have used. So it would be a stack format. This is not the one, but in this particular case we would be able to solve. We could we need not to reverse our string, because we would be able to solve this particular problem with the help of this approach. Okay, let me write down any return statement over here so that I would not be getting any errors on my screen. Okay, let me run this code first, just to analyze whether I'm able to write that particular number into the string format or not. Okay, if you could see, this is the 1041. This is not the actual representation. It should be in a reverse order, but we can go further with the help of this, because if you could see 41 somewhere, 1041 somewhere over here. I don't see. Okay, let's move. If you could see that the 15 is over here, that is one perfectly correct. And if you could see the 32 should be in this particular way, one and then penta 0, but I have written the penta 0 first and then 1, so we need not worry about it. If you could write the 1041, the output should be 1, then 0 0 0 0 0, then again 1 0 0 0 0 1. So this is exactly so this is the reverse order, or reverse ordered binary representation over here. So what we are going to do is we are just going to find out the gaps in between two consecutive ones. Okay, okay, so this is the main thing that I am going to tell you. What I'll be doing is I'll be having a for loop first, which would be starting from the initial position of a string, and it will go until the length, until the last index of that particular string, and then I plus plus. And for each time we would be trying to find the first one. If, let's say, if we are successfully able to find the first occurrence of 1, then what we are going to do, we need not to worry about any extra 0 or any extra other stuff. We just need to find out the next consecutive one, and until we get that particular one, we would be storing that particular difference, or that the index and differences into a variable. So let's have a variable int count. I'll be telling you if in a separate page what am I doing over here, why Okay, so this is the count variable that I have taken over here and initialized with the 0. And what I'll be doing is, at this point of time, I'll be starting another for loop. From where? From the I plus 1. Okay, and j should be lesser than the s dot length. Length j plus plus, and at the same time, if I could find, if I successfully found another one, so what I'll be doing is, let me write down this particular line again over here with the help of j. Not I. If I am able to find j, s dot caret j is equals to 1, then what I'll be doing is, I'll be calculating the updated count variable over here. Okay, so our new count would be the math dot max. So this might be a bit confusing to new uh, viewers, but you could understand after visualizing my previous videos and all. So what I'll be doing is, I'll be comparing the previous value of count and the new value of, on the difference in between the j minus I minus 1. Okay, I'll be storing the maximum one in the count variable itself, and at the end what I'll be doing is, I'll be returning the count variable over here, and at the same time I need to comment out these lines. Okay, let's hit a run button over here. Okay, got 9, expected 5. Okay, great. So what is the actual error that I have done so far? Let's say if we are able to find the next one, okay, then what we should do? Should I repeat the iteration from the position where we have left? No, we should move our pointer, move our ith pointer to the next position. We need not to worry about the next one over here. So what I'll be writing is break over here. It would break the iteration of internal loop. It will break the iteration of internal loop only. It will not be breaking the external loop. So let's hit the run button over here. Yep, I think I'm getting the successful compilation along with my okay statements. Let's hit the submit task. But before clicking on the submit task, I would suggest you to go through these lines of codes, what I have written over here. Uh, for that case, but okay, let me copy this particular portion first. I'll be telling you, and let's hit the submit task over here, whether it is successfully able to pass all the remaining test cases or not. They are actually verifying my solution over here. Solution passed. Okay, the session has ended. Actually, I'm new to this particular platform, so the score will be shown once evaluation is done. Actually, they are trying to evaluate. So this might be case of low internet. Okay, I got all the test cases passed over here. Hooray! And what is my score is? My score is 100%. Okay, congratulations to me. This is my new platform that I have taken over here. Okay, let me tell you the approach that I. Okay, what is this? Let's analyze. Okay, this is the one way that they are actually storing the processes of our writing the codes at this moment of time. What we have written, this particular code. So this is the very good thing that they are actually storing the task timeline and all. So this is one we should like. I would like it. Okay, should I tell you the time complexity? Exactly, the time complexity would be the big O of n square. We can also modify our solution with the help of another algorithms and all, but in initial way we could go with this particular one because this is the easy one problem. Okay, let me tell you what is the actual approach they have actually followed over here. I'll be telling you this approach in my next video. So congratulations to all of you. Bye bye. Happy coding. Jai Shri Ram.